With private health, there are a few very important rules which you should be aware of, as they can directly impact the amount of money you're going to have to spend when taking out a private health insurance cover in the future. And today I'm going to be discussing one of them. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about what private health cover loading is and how it can impact you when considering taking out private health insurance. On July 1st of the year 2000, the Australian government introduced an incentive to encourage people to take out a hospital cover or a private health hospital cover earlier in their life, and then on top of that, encourage them to maintain it. The incentive, which still stands today, is that if you take out a hospital cover earlier in your life, you will avoid paying what is called the lifetime health cover loading. And that's what I'm going to break down in this video. Firstly, to be clear, lifetime health cover loading strictly applies to hospital cover. It does not apply to extras. One other thing to note before I continue is your lifetime health cover base day. This is the 1st of July following your 31st birthday. If you do not have hospital cover before your lifetime health cover base day, remember the 1st of July of your 31st birthday, and then you go to take out hospital cover after that, you will pay a 2% loading every single year. It will add to that 2%, 2, 4, 6, 8, your 31st, 32nd, 33rd, every time you age 1 year, for every year over 30. For example, let's say Dave turned 31 in January of 2019. That would make his lifetime health cover base day the 1st of July 2019, in about 6 or so months. Now let's say Dave has hospital cover on his 31st birthday. Great. But for some reason he decides to cancel it in March, so a couple months later, and we still haven't got to July yet. Let's say now in September he goes, oh crap, I probably shouldn't have cancelled my hospital cover. I want to take out a hospital cover again later that year in, let's say, September. This will mean that Dave will have to pay a 2% loading on his hospital cover because he did not have hospital cover on his lifetime health cover base day. Now, 2% on your premium might not seem like that much. It might be $20, $30 over the course of a year. Who cares, right? But this is where it can get out of hand. The maximum lifetime health cover loading that can be applied to you when you decide to take out hospital cover is 70%. That's a lot of money. If you're taking out hospital cover when you turn 66, because you haven't really thought about it in the past, you could be looking at a couple of extra $1,000 every single year from the year that you take that cover out. On top of that, again, like I kind of mentioned, this loading will apply for 10 years. So if you take it out at 66, you will be paying 70% more every single year for 10 years, as long as you hold it consistently, and then it will be reset to zero. So essentially, once a loading is applied, you need to hold hospital cover for 10 years before that loading is removed. Now, a good example for this scenario would be my parents. My parents have never had private health insurance. My dad is 54 years old. My dad literally took out private health insurance just because of his health, and he kind of deemed it necessary now last week, a week before I started recording this video. It cost him $2,000, but it cost him a little bit more because he's never had private health. He got a 46% loading attached to his private health premium, and that's going to be consistent for the next 10 years. I did the math, and it's about $920 more a year now that he's going to have to pay to maintain this hospital cover. And if he keeps it for 10 years, that's going to be $9,200, which is insane. That's a lot of money because he never held hospital cover. Just to be clear as well, now that he's taken out hospital cover, that 46% gets locked in. It doesn't go up and it doesn't go down as long as he holds hospital cover. Keep in mind as well, if you're someone who has hospital cover, like my dad now, and he cancels his cover and then decides to take it out next year, he will probably have to pay that loading again, and it will probably start fresh. So it will be a new 10 years that he has to wait until that loading is removed. If you're someone who's thinking about changing private health insurance company as well, you should absolutely tell them all of the relevant information to make sure they don't mistakenly add a loading to you, because they will ask those questions, but you're the person responsible for giving them that information. There are some exemptions for people to avoid paying the loading if you're someone who is going to have to pay that loading, but I wouldn't really rely on it. And the best way to understand if you're going to have to pay that loading or not would be to speak directly to a private health insurance company that you're thinking about going with and reading their terms and conditions on their website. That's where you get the information. Every private health company is different in their own way and what they offer, so do your research. On top of this as well, I'm definitely not telling you to take out hospital cover before your 31st birthday. It's something to consider and it's something to understand. If you are someone who can facilitate the cost and think that you may need it in the future, it is definitely something to consider, because now it's costing my dad, as an example, a lot more money than what he probably planned to pay for this service. Overall, I hope you learned something new in this video and I hope that it was insightful. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel out. And as always, I will see you in the next one.